This is a car I got from the government auction. We're gonna fix the paint, the rust, the sides, and turn it into this. And if you want to see the whole process, continue watching the rest of the video. 85,000 miles. Ran great. Drove it 4 hours to Los Angeles. Just has a little bit of paint coming off. The roof is what's messed up a little bit. All right, to start off this flip, we're just gonna work on the rust, and I'm gonna use a scraper to take off all the dry flaky rust paint off of it before I start taking the rust off. I did get a $5 drill attachment tool from Harbor Freight, which is in this video right here, and then pretty much this just helps you take off all the surface rust off. It's safe in the metal. It's meant to take off the paint and the surface rust. Unfortunately, I didn't get this off video, but my friend let me borrow a tool to sand it down after I took off all the surface rust to prep it for paint. And like I said, unfortunately I didn't have it on video because the battery died and I didn't check it. So I ended up using a self-etching primer from Home Depot. I did about 3 cans of this so it could bond really well with the metal, and I did it about probably every 10-15 minutes. I did it for the self-etching primer until I coated the whole roof. Then I ended up using this Rust-Oleum turbo can that you see me using here, and I only used about 1.5, maybe 2 full cans on the roof, and it was beyond plenty. I did so many coats because it just throws so heavy. It looks a little bit bad here, but I promise you, as you layer it, I'm going pretty much light as I can, but it's just so heavy. And this is pretty much the end result after a day of drying up. So I'm gonna start trying to fix this little part of the hood where the paint just peeled off. I ended up getting this kit. This is way better in my opinion, just to like fade it out or feather it, sorry. And I'm doing a P80 right now, so I haven't even got to the finer ones where it'll smooth it out even better. But even this right now is just a big improvement already. And then this is just me feathering it with the grits. I did end up getting a bigger block that goes all the way up to about 1500. And then I'm gonna just use this one example here to show you it. I'm not gonna go to every single panel of the car that I prepped, but this is just an example I'm gonna use. And once you're done getting it smooth, you feel it smooth as hell, shop towel with alcohol just to make sure there's nothing there before I start doing the self-etching primer, just to do the edges where I feathered, and also to cover the exposed parts of the metal. And yeah, pretty much I'm just doing this, and then once over I'm gonna just keep layering it. But prep is key, and this is part of that part. I think all in all I must have spent maybe, I want to say $200, maybe $260 on paint altogether for the doors, the fenders, and the rear doors and the roof. So it wasn't so bad. I think I spent like another $30 on like a sandpaper and stuff like that, but you know, that was it. And then my strategy doing these light coats, as you see in the video, is do a light coat, wait 10-15 minutes, but in reality I'm just switching to the next spot, painting, and pretty much by the time I'm done painting the fender, the other spot I'll go back to the original one. And that's been my strategy overall. All in all, I think overall in materials for every piece of this car, I think maybe I spent maybe $320 at the very most for all materials and paint. And I mean, it's a really good investment, I believe. I know, you know, this is my first time doing it, but I've watched plenty of videos and I read instructions, and for being cost effective, this was the best. I'm trying to cover the edge wall right here, so I'm covering it. But all in all, turning this car from I think a $5,000 buy, selling it for $8,000. It was $4,500, but you know, I'm counting the registration and all the little paint. Ended up being like $5,000, and I ended up making like $8,000 out of it. $8,500 actually, to be exact. I'm not worried about those dark spots because I need to blend the clear coat and paint it correctly. Same with the hood right there. And then this is just overspray, some primer overspray. I'm just gonna sand that down to the white metal, and then once it's sanded down, and I'll fix these little overspray right there. But once it's sanded down to little dark spots, I'm gonna then hit it with the clear coat, which I did, and unfortunately I didn't get it on video. But I ended up doing about 3 or 4 layers of clear coat on those, and I feathered it out to just make sure it matched. And then once I was done, I wet sanded the whole car, buffed it, and yeah, I mean, you know, I didn't get the sides, but this is the end result. You can see here, it looks perfect. This is me after wet sanding it and buffing it, and great results overall. If this video was helpful in any way, please hit the like button. Appreciate it. Peace.